Ubisoft and its partners continue to take L after L when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they just took another one with Pure Arts, a collectible manufacturer and designer, announcing that they will be reworking their Collector's Assassin's Creed Shadows design that featured Yasuke and Naoe perched next to a one-legged Torii gate, which is a reference to the atomic bombing attack on Japan during World War II. And this change in the redesign, I think, also points to the veracity of Endymion's numerous rumors that he's come out and shared with us regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows and how that game came to be developed and what they plan to do since they have delayed the game to February. Because if you recall, he was the one who first said that one of the main reasons why they delayed the game was the backlash over this collectible. So before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and you can see that is what the collectible used to look like. You can see Yasuke there is standing next to the one-legged Torii gate with Naoe perched on top of it, looking like she's about to leap from it. Here is a picture from the back. I have a close-up of the actual one-legged Torii gate as well as we get further on into this article here. But this is what Pure Arts posted to X. They said, we recently released an insensitive design we appreciate and have learned from the concerns brought to our attention, and we apologize for the harm this caused. After reading and processing the feedback, we have immediately returned to the drawing board and are currently reworking the design of the Collector's Assassin's Creed Shadows, Yasuke and Naoe. Stay tuned. They did also respond to an individual inquiring about pre-orders, and they said this: pre-orders have not been canceled, and you will receive an email soon with more information. And then instructed the person to send them an email at support@purearts.com if they have any other questions. So huge announcement here that they are completely redesigning this collectible and will not actually be selling this design to the public. And this comes as they note from feedback that they received. I would call it backlash. It all kind of started here with this user, Shin, who wrote this. This is translated via Google. Please spread the word. Assassin's Creed Shadows figures from Ubisoft, the famous Japanese hate and criminal company. A figurine of a destroyed Torii gate has been released, which is believed to be based on the one-legged Torii gate that was destroyed in the Nagasaki atomic bombing. I've never seen a one-legged Torii other than the one destroyed by the American atomic bomb in Nagasaki. So huge backlash. This guy is trying to raise awareness for it, and it worked. It worked so much that it found its way here to us in the West, in the United States. We had Razor Fist writing this on X, responding to Shin, saying, Ubisoft, including an artifact from a nuclear detonation, a one-sided arch, in what promises to be the biggest bomb of the year. God is a stand-up comedian. Obviously, it won't be this year. It will be next year, but I still think it probably will be one of the biggest bombs of next year, despite them trying to delay it to February, where they will obviously try to use identity politics to shield itself from criticism, releasing it in the United States' Black History Month in February. Not Haru wrote this: Ubisoft just keep digging themselves deeper into the crapper. We had Vera Dark here saying Ubisoft has spent $500 million on game budgets before, so they either hired dollar store historians or are intentionally disrespecting Japan. There's no shot this many mistakes have been made. I think both can be true, right? We know that they hired dollar store historians. Thomas Lockley has been outed pretty well and been put in his place with actual Japanese historians kind of coming out and explaining who Yasuke really was and that they really don't have a lot of information about him, and that he was more likely not the legendary samurai that Ubisoft and Lockley have been trying to sell him as, but he was more of an entertainer and bodyguard for Oda Nobunaga. And, and so, yeah, I think both can be true, right? They're absolutely incompetent, and that they are also trying to disrespect Japan. I think this is the case from a lot of these video game companies. I think that they have malice towards the people that would actually care about the things that they are trying to destroy. And then that's exactly what these people go about doing. So I think both can be true. And then you have Kit-Sun Chia. He wrote this: Ubisoft used an atomic bomb relic for its marketing campaign. This is what DIE money buys a company indeed. So of note, the backlash against this statue allegedly spooked Ubisoft and influenced their decision to delay the game from November 2024 to February 2025. That should be 2025. I'll have to fix that. Made a mistake there. But that information came from Endymion. He said this: besides the abysmal pre-orders, the thing that actually spooked Ubisoft more than anything else was how Japan reacted to the One-Legged Torii Gate figurine. This culturally devastating piece that proved that Ubisoft was not adequate to make the game or really know anything about the time period. It led to the higher-ups admitting defeat and demanding that the game get a cultural do-over, if you will. They wanted things to be more authentic because the One-Legged Torii Gate incident was so embarrassing and baffling that they didn't want anything else like that to ever happen again in their history. And the fact that they are actually redesigning this statue, I think, shows some veracity to what Endymion sources informed him and what he shared with us in this video, which you can find in the link in the description below. So, and he's shared a ton of information too, right? Obviously saying that Yasuke was inspired by George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter riots in the United States back in 2020. And then also talking about how they were going to be changing Yasuke in this kind of time frame that they gave themselves, delaying it from November to February 2025, which they announced in this press release. Ubisoft said Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on 14 February 2025. While the game is feature complete, the learnings from the Star Wars Outlaws release let us provide additional time to further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure, with Naoe and Yasuke bringing two very different gameplay styles. So they're saying that they're just trying to polish the game. I think based on what we've seen from Endymion, based on now that we're seeing that they are redesigning this this collectible, this statue, this figurine, I think it does show that they are probably going to be making changes to the story of Yasuke, probably making some of those dialogue changes that Endymion talked about, where they had some of that identity politics, woke ideology being espoused by the character of Yasuke. They're probably going to be removing all of the hip hop soundtrack that they had, where he was going around just executing people in Japan to this hip hop soundtrack, etc. I think a lot of that stuff is going to be removed from the game, as Endymion has reported. And I think this story here, this announcement from Pure Arts that they are going to be redesigning this figure, lends massive credence to Endymion's sources and his information that he's getting from these insiders that have worked with Ubisoft. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know what you make of Ubisoft. Basically, I mean, Ubisoft clearly was involved in this decision as well, right? So it's not just Pure Arts. Pure Arts obviously is the one that is making the announcement, but it's hard not to imagine that Ubisoft was not involved in the decision to have this statue redesigned. So let me know what you guys make of Ubisoft and Pure Arts announcing that they are redesigning this figurine after the intense backlash that it saw. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.